1. Hey friends, APTA Colorado went through a sunset process not long ago. You heard about it on this podcast. Months ago is when it went down. They were engaged in an awareness and action campaign with their members and potential members to make sure that their state legislators and decision makers knew what their collective voice wanted to happen within their state. This is how things happen. Tonight, we get to share some of the wins. We'll have APTA Colorado President-elect Rebecca Griffith, Elizabeth Rosen, and Chris Edmondson sort of getting to explain what happened. This is sort of the after effect. A lot of times you hear the before, and then you're sort of like, well, what ever happened with that? We get to bring you the after effect. We get to close the loop. So let's start with Elizabeth, who is a contract lobbyist for Political Advocacy Incorporated. Elizabeth, welcome back to the live stream.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So PTs are able to do stuff now that they weren't able to do before. Give us the scoop. What can PTs in Colorado do now that they weren't able to do before?
Yeah, we're really excited about what we were able to accomplish in the sunset. I think Colorado has one of the most progressive sunsets or practice acts for PTs already, and we were able to build on that during this review. So a couple things that we're really excited about. One, we're trying to protect your profession. So within the Practice Act, we were able to say that other entities can't use terms like DPT, Doctor of Physical Therapy. We were hearing stories from different gyms that were using these specific acronyms to try to mimic what you all do in your doctorate professional level. So not okay. We're wanting to protect that. 2, we're wanting to help you with your time and with your patients by now you are going to be allowed to order durable medical equipment, DME. So you're going to have prescription authority to do that directly. That was a big one that we were able to pull off, and we're really excited. And then we also made it clear in the Practice Act that PTs get to order imaging. It was in our rulemaking, but it wasn't in our Practice Act. And then the other really exciting thing is that we extended the Practice Act until 2035. So you guys are good to go for a really long time.
Wow. So we won't be doing live streams asking people to do stuff until at least 2034.
Well, we might, because we do have rulemaking and some other things coming up still. So we still have to, even though the Practice Act isn't going to be opened up again for a while, we still have to go through a rulemaking phase in order to bring this all forward.
So just to review, complaining about wanting things to change on Twitter or Facebook sort of doesn't get anything done, but engaging in political advocacy does get things changed. Just wanted to reinforce that for the kids at home. All right. Elizabeth, we'll bring you right back, but right now it's time to bring in Chris Edmondson. Chris, welcome back to the to live stream. What do physical therapists in Colorado, but not just Colorado, right? This is also for their state chapters. What would they need to do to continue to have successes like this, maybe if they wanted to engage in their government affairs committees?
Yeah, we always welcome new members to our government affairs committee. We need lots of different ideas. We have lots of different practice settings in our profession, and we need to hear from everyone when we're thinking about various legislation that might affect our profession, as well as coming up with our own legislation that we plan to run in the future. Going forward, we have some lofty plans to help with payment for physical therapists, some plans to help reduce administrative burden, lots of different things, but we need the insight of everyone who's affected by this. So the more members that we have, the better we do. So we encourage anyone who wants to join the Colorado Government Affairs Committee to email us at info@coloradophysicaltherapists.org.
So the vibe or the message I feel like I'm getting is someone like Elizabeth, this is quite literally her job. She goes around and does this, but she really can't be the only person doing these things, right? I mean, she's going to be the expert in this sort of situation, but we do need the physical therapist to step up and do things like write letters or testify or show up or reshare messages or get other colleagues to get involved. These things might seem trivial, but we're seeing the results today. Those things move the actual needle.
Yeah, that's right. Our lobbyists are very talented when it comes to getting things done at the Capitol, but they don't know what to get done until the therapists tell them. We need our membership to inform the lobby team what our interests are, what the rationale is for what we're pursuing, so that they could explain it in a way that normal people could understand. Legislators are normal people. They don't understand physical therapy. So we need our experts, our physical therapists, to drive this process. And so we need membership involvement. As we go into the state rulemaking with the state board, we need the help of all of our members, and not just members. We need all physical therapists involved, because basically we just passed the law. That's the Practice Act. Now the board is going to make rules and regulations based on the law, and that creates a lot of nuance of what you can do, how you do it. And just as important as the law, we need the rules and regs. And our PTs in Colorado need to inform that process. Our PTs need to be in contact with DORA, and the board, to help us get what we want in those rules. So APTA will go and testify to the board, and sometimes we need other PTs in the state to help testify with us, and sometimes we just need them to write letters supporting the regulatory changes that we're looking for.
Yeah. This is how a bill becomes a bill, and you need to speak up to make sure things happen. But again, share the wins and make sure we get to shout the successes. Chris, thanks so much. Hang tight. Let's bring in Rebecca Griffiths. She was with us from the beginning of this Sunset campaign. Rebecca, it's got to feel pretty good to get to the end of something and feel like you've been a part of making change, and that's what you've done here. You're no stranger to advocacy in this process. Maybe if you were to sum up, why is it important for PTs to continue to engage in advocacy year-round like this, and maybe not just when a process like Sunset arises?
I think that's a great question, because when Sunset comes, we get really excited about it because it's our one chance to really move our practice forward. But truly, we have that opportunity every single year. We just haven't necessarily been taking advantage of that on a larger scale. And there are bills that come from other disciplines as well that can impact our profession. So we need to be focused on staying on top of legislative advocacy all year. And I know, as a practicing clinician and a mom and a person with a number of different things to do, it's hard for me to stay on top of what legislative needs there are. So that's why APTA Colorado is going to maintain and manage that for us. But when we really look at how we want to practice and what kind of therapist we want to be, we want to lead in our practice. We want to practice at the top of our scope. And sometimes the top of our scope does not match the top of our license.
Help me understand that. What's how would someone understand the difference between top of scope and top of license?
Well, top of scope is like your skill set plus your mindset plus all your education, all your clinical experience, everything you're able to provide for your patient. And then top of license is what you're legally allowed to do.
Yeah.
So when those things don't match, the patient is the one who's losing out, as well as the therapist, right? It's so frustrating for me to know that I can practice here, but really only be allowed to practice here. It feels like not quite giving my all, and that's really frustrating. So when there's a mismatch there, we need to, as physical therapists, as the APTA, like really move forward and push for top of license to match top of scope.
Perfect. All right. So closing thoughts. It sounds like, hey, we get to sort of ring the bell and share the wins. I mean, what would you want therapists, not only in the state of Colorado, besides going, if you're in the state of Colorado, coloradophysicaltherapists.org. It feels like a really good reason to want to understand now what the value and the benefits are to joining your state association, being able to see it. Sometimes those benefits aren't necessarily tangible. It's hard to make the invisible visible. But that's why we brought Elizabeth in, to show off those things. What's final thoughts? What would you want people to know? We'll go with Elizabeth first, since this is your bag. This is what you do.
Sure. No, happy to start off. I mean, it's exactly what Chris said, which is we know how to navigate at the Capitol, but we do not have the education and expertise that you all have as physical therapists, and with the challenges you're seeing in your profession. So unless you're bringing that forward, we don't know how to advocate for you. So we really need those voices across the state guiding us, and participating in the GAC is a great way to start.
All right, you got one shot, Chris, one opportunity. It's a little like Eminem. What would you want therapists in the state of Colorado to do? You can only pick one thing. I'm feeling like join the association might be the thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We need all the members we can get. Basically, we have a lot of people in our profession complaining about the problems. I complain about the problems, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm a member. That's why I'm on the Government Affairs Committee, passing laws to make changes, advocating for the profession, fighting back against the insurance companies. I have meetings with insurance companies, third-party intermediaries, regulatory agencies. I'm a practice owner. We need to fix our profession. We need our PTs to make the money that they deserve. And APTA pushes that forward. People say they don't because they have no idea what we're doing. And we need to change that. We need more involvement to drive this forward.
All right, Rebecca, no small feat. You get to close everything. What's a parting shot you'd want to leave with the audience? What's something you want to, your mic drop moment or your soapbox statement?
I think the soapbox statement is that if we are going alone, we're not going to get very far. And if we go together, we're going to make huge strides. APTA Colorado has ensured that we have one of the best practice acts in the country, and we can continue to lead. We just need your support. We need your help. We need you to remember that the APTA is really a group of committed volunteers that are physical therapist assistants, and students just like you. And we need your help. So help us steer the ship. This big wins this year, but we'd like to have big wins every year.
Must feel good. We started talking about this when there was still snow on the ground, and now that it's, in August, we're able to celebrate those wins. But you shouldn't stop here, because that's sort of how the process works. So again, that website to find out more about the state of Colorado is coloradophysicaltherapist.org. Find out how you can get involved and all the benefits to being a member. Ladies, gentlemen, appreciate the effort and kudos, because this is no small feat. There's a lot of moving parts that you guys were able to put together to bring about success for your patients and your profession. So thanks for that.
Thank you.